Hello, welcome back, I'm Statman Dave, and today we're going to be looking at Jurgen Klopp's tactical evolution at Liverpool explained. Make sure, of course, to subscribe if you're new, like that goddamn video, and turn the notification bell on. Anyway, let's get this party started. After taking Liverpool to just 2 points off top spot less than 18 months earlier, Brendan Rodgers was sacked as Liverpool manager following a 1-1 draw with Everton in the Merseyside derby on the 4th of October 2015. Rodgers had some interesting ideas at Liverpool, starting with various 4-3-3s, then using a 4-4-2 diamond in his title-challenging season before experimenting with a 3-4-2-1. But this tactical uncertainty ultimately cost Rodgers his job, signing a range of players to fit very different tactical systems, summed up by his last window in charge, where he signed Danny Ings, a counter-attacking forward, Christian Benteke, a traditional target man, and Roberto Firmino, a creative possession-based forward. However, there was a clear plan from the Reds as they wasted no time in appointing Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool's new permanent manager. 4 days after Rodgers was sacked on the 8th of October 2015, Klopp primarily used his trusted 4-2-3-1 for the remainder of the 2015-16 season. Liverpool finished the season in disappointing 8th position. But in hindsight, you could argue that Klopp used this season to test his squad and make decisions on where he wanted to take his Liverpool side. It seems like the 3-1 defeat to Sevilla in the Europa League final changed something in Klopp. Liverpool conceded 3 goals due to poor positioning, relying on his wide midfielders to distract the opponents. The following season, he changed his system to a 4-3-3, adding the likes of Jorginho Wijnaldum, Loris Karius and Sadio Mane. This saw the introduction of 3 shuttlers in central midfield, which gave the forwards fewer defensive responsibilities, because the outside central midfielders would shuttle out wide and help out the fullbacks. This change saw a drastic improvement in Liverpool's domestic form, taking them to 4th in the league, 18 points clear of their previous season's total. The 2017-18 season saw Klopp continue his overhaul. He made 3 signings in the summer: Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain added thrust into his midfield, Andy Robertson as his first choice left-back, and Mohamed Salah to add pace and goals in attack. These additions made it seem like Klopp was gearing up to a return to the 4-2-3-1, with a front four of Coutinho, Firmino, Mane and Salah. But Coutinho pushed through a January transfer to Barcelona, and Klopp continued with his 4-3-3, using part of the Coutinho money to shore up his defence with Virgil van Dijk. Before Coutinho departed, he was their creative hub and orchestrated the Reds' attack. In just 13 starts, the Brazilian scored 7 goals and registered 6 assists. But his transfer left Klopp with a creative conundrum. His squad lacked depth, so they relied on the brilliance of their front 3, Mane, Salah and Firmino, to unlock defences. This worked as long as all 3 were fit. Liverpool just won 2 of the last 6 games in the Premier League, and in 3 out of 4 of those games where they dropped points, at least one of those front 3 were missing, showing Klopp's over-reliance on the trio to create together. But this didn't matter in Europe. That season was Klopp's first in the Champions League with Liverpool, and his all-action attack blew teams away. The front 3 of Mane, Salah and Firmino scored 30 goals. Only Real Madrid managed more in the campaign. As a team, Liverpool scored 41, the most ever scored in a single Champions League campaign, but it wasn't enough and they fell short in the final against Real Madrid, as Klopp had nobody to bring off the bench to replace the injured Mohamed Salah. The following season, Klopp strived for improvement, this time signing Fabinho, Alisson and Shaqiri, before Naby Keita joined as well. The 2018-19 season was bittersweet for Liverpool. Despite just losing 1 game in the Premier League and accruing 97 points, they finished second, a single point behind Manchester City, but they lifted their 6th European Cup in Madrid, beating Spurs 2-0. Unsurprisingly, this season has been Klopp's best in terms of tactics. He's tweaked his system, switching his point of creativity from the forwards to fullback, leaving the forwards with a primary focus on goal scoring. He's adopted the 2-3-5 attacking shape of Zizou's Real Madrid, with chance creation coming from fullback. A ridiculous 26% of Liverpool's 89 Premier League goals this season were assisted by fullbacks Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. We've already done a video looking at Klopp's evolution this season. The link will be in the description below if you want to check out more detail. But in short, to maximise the effectiveness of crosses, he loads the box with 3 attackers at the same time, with 2 attacking the 6-yard area and 1 sitting on the penalty spot. This means that every type of cross can be effective at any time, but in this system it's only made possible because of Fabinho in defensive midfield. His experience at right back has made him exceptional at covering the wide areas, stopping counter-attacks and allowing Liverpool to crank up the pressure. Klopp's evolution has been fascinating. Throughout his entire career, his go-to system has been the gegenpressing 4-2-3-1. The peak of this was his Borussia Dortmund side that reached the Champions League final in the 2013 season. Creativity in that side came from the band of three operating behind the striker. In the Bundesliga that season, the trio registered 28 assists between them, feeding goal-scoring Lewandowski with 24 goals. His Dortmund side arguably set the trend for high-pressing sides, and their gegenpress made them fan favourites across Europe. But their most powerful tool is arguably what stopped Klopp winning the Champions League with Borussia Dortmund. No matter how much conditioning you put your team through, you can't gegenpress all season without a drop-off. And that happened in the final. After Dortmund equalised on the 68th minute, they had just 3 shots and were a fading force, whilst Bayern had 7 and were in the ascendancy, accumulating with an Iron Robin winner on the 89th minute. If you compare Klopp then to now, you see a more measured manager. His Dortmund side essentially was a counter-attacking team, more dangerous without the ball than with it. And you could say that about Liverpool last year. But this season, Klopp now looks to dominate possession, using his press to regain possession before maintaining that attacking momentum. They press in phases rather than tearing after the ball relentlessly. They now set traps before pouncing on opponents foolish enough to pass centrally. This tweak has been the biggest contributor to Liverpool's sustained success, allowing them to retain energy from game to game, and has shown some pragmatism emerging in the German coach. Pragmatism isn't something you normally associate with Jurgen Klopp, but it started to creep into his game, which is fascinating. Arguably what's held Pep Guardiola back is his stubbornness, refusing to divert from his main tactic to gain a tactical advantage, and it's cost them in the Champions League, and he's not won that since he's had Lionel Messi in his team. In the Champions League final against Spurs, Klopp used almost Mourinho-esque tactics, grabbing an early lead before sitting back on the ball, killing the momentum of the game. The penalty came from a clear idea, Liverpool winning the ball in midfield before looking over the top to one of their forwards, a key tactical trend. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool had an idea, whereas it looked Spurs didn't know what they were doing on the ball and were very poor in the final third. In the second half, Klopp even switched to a 4-4-2, sitting deeper to draw Spurs onto them before creating that space in behind. Whilst the game was turgid, nobody will remember that, and history will recall the day that Liverpool lifted their 6th European Cup thanks to Jurgen Klopp. But could we see Klopp return to his 4-2-3-1 next season? At Dortmund, he had a solid back four headed by Mats Hummels, with an intelligent double pivot of Sven Bender and Ilkay Gundogan in defensive midfield, a playmaker-destroyer combo. But he now has those elements at Liverpool. He's got a solid back four and a destroyer in Fabinho that is better than what he had at Dortmund. And if Naby Keita can carry on his pre-injury form into next season, Klopp will have the defensive tools for a 4-2-3-1. Adding either a creative midfielder to play off Firmino or a striker for Firmino to play off would complete his side. Bruno Fernandes would be an ideal signing after being directly involved in 50 goals in 53 games for Sporting CP this season. On top of those impressive numbers, he's equally adept at playing in a 3-man midfield, as he is a number 10 and would allow Klopp such versatility. As a striking option, Timo Werner would be perfect. He already plays in a high-press RB Leipzig front line and has been prolific since moving to the Saxony club, scoring 71 goals and registering 27 assists in 114 appearances. But anyway guys, what do you think? Where will Klopp go next? What signings do you think Liverpool need to make in the summer? And how impressed have you been with Jurgen Klopp's evolution? I've been Statman Dave. Make sure of course to subscribe if you're new, like that goddamn video. Anyway, see you later. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, why not check out some more content on the Statman Dave YouTube channel.